Hello, this is Bill Zoller with the lifestyle-interventions.com website, and today we're going to be doing a brief video on the topic of brain health. Brain health, critically important. The fine capillaries in the brain are very important that we not get all those clogged up and end up with people who say, I don't remember, not good. So wanted to start out by saying that there's a lot of different kinds of dementia. Age-related cognitive decline you've heard of. You've heard of Parkinson's disease, which has an associated Lewy body type of dementia. You've heard of Alzheimer's, and vascular dementia is very common also, where we get all of the blood flow in our brain all clogged up with plaque from our diet and from stress and from some other things. So I wanted to mention a couple of studies. The Framingham longitudinal study indicated that daily brisk walks resulted in a 40% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's later in life. So these walks, this lifestyle factor involving exercise, is critically important. Being physically active throughout our lives, regardless of the type of activity, is very important. And I wish I had more time to go into that, but we don't have time right now. Chronic stress in this Framingham study decreased the level of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is the main protein responsible for the production of new brain cells. So chronic stress is another lifestyle issue that we need to guard against. At Washington University in St. Louis, they demonstrated that sleep-deprived people had more amyloid plaques, this abnormal protein, in their brains. So sleep deprivation is a huge issue, and our brain suffers as a direct result. Several studies in the mid-1990s indicated that sustained complex cognition projects protect the brain against normal aging. So this would be things like challenging the brain with advanced studies, writing a book, doing Sudoku exercises or crossword puzzles and chess, and listening to different forms of music like Mozart and so on will help build brain cells. Also from Rush University in Chicago, they compared different kinds of diet. They compared the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, and the MIND, M-I-N-D diet for effects on brain health. And they found that all three diets were good for you, but the MIND diet was the most effective. And what we have here is recommendations to eat plenty of whole grains, green leafy vegetables, and berries. Berries are just wonderful for many, many different things. And to limit unhealthy foods like pastries and red meat and so on. In the California Teachers Study, 140,000 women, and they looked at their dietary patterns and measured how much adherence to a healthy diet they had. And so what they found was that there was positive scores for fruits and vegetables and so on. They found that for every unit increase as they adhered to a healthy diet, their risk of stroke dropped by 10%. Daily food choices have a major effect on chronic diseases of the brain. There is growing evidence that traumatic brain injury increases the risk of developing dementia in the future. In the Journal of Neurology, we have an article that those whose depression started before the age of 60 were nearly 4 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's than those with no history of depression. Some wonderful research from Loma Linda University, one of my favorite educational institutions, at their Center for Memory and Aging, developed a couple of research neurologists developed the Neuro plan, N-E-U-R-O. N is for nutrition, and they believe that a whole food, plant-based diet, low in sugar and processed foods is excellent for you. The E in neuro stands for exercise, which we've alluded to. So be active every day if you can. I personally try to run a little bit every day. The U in neuro, N-E-U, means unwind. And so we need to use stress management techniques when we need them, meditation and yoga and mindful breathing, and spending time in nature and having support within our communities are all ways to unwind. And so then the R in neuro stands for restore, and we're talking about sleep. If you want to damage your brain, just get deficient sleep, and not good for you. We need 7 or 8 hours, even perhaps a little bit more, of sleep, and to see our medical people for treatment of sleep disorders. The O in neuro stands for optimize, meaning to engage in multimodal brain activities that help us grow more brain cells, and this would be something that I've alluded to before, and that is engage many of the brain's capacities, again in crossword puzzles and in reading and listening to music and so on and so forth. So we want to personalize these lifestyle plans that incorporate all 5 of the factors in the Neuro plan. So I just wanted to mention a couple of the stages of dementia pre-clinically before serious problems show up, could last up to 20 years. It appears normal with occasional forgetfulness, and from there it goes into more frequent forgetfulness that people notice, and it goes on with anxiety and difficulty at work, and then later difficulty driving a car, and on and on. And when you get to the later stages, it's really very, very difficult, and I've had family members who die from Alzheimer's, so I've had some experience with this. They can't do daily activities, they need professional care all the time, personality changes, and so on and so forth. Optimal health can only be achieved through whole body health. Health is synergistic, meaning that if you're doing something that's good for the rest of your body, it's also good for your brain. As it ends up, lifestyle interventions are something that we want to know a lot about, and we want to be sure that our daily lifestyles are brain healthy. That's all that we have time for today, but I want to thank you very much for being with us, and I hope that you may have gleaned something from this that will help you to take better care of your brain. Thank you.